This is a Masterlock Magnum M40. It has a 7 out of 10 security rating according to Masterlock. Discus locks like the Masterlock Magnum M40 are often used to secure things like storage units and fences, because unlike ordinary padlocks, they cannot be shimmed, and their shrouded shackles are extremely difficult to cut. An issue with this lock, however, is that its 4-pin cylinder does not contain any security pins, which makes it vulnerable to low-skill raking attacks. This is a Masterlock Magnum M115. It has an 8 out of 10 security rating according to Masterlock. This lock features a laminated steel body and a rubberized outer shell for weather protection. Masterlock also claims that its boron carbide shackle is extremely resistant to cutting and sawing, and its ball-bearing locking mechanism resists prying and hammering. However, much like the Magnum M40, this lock only... This is a Masterlock Magnum M5. It has a 9 out of 10 security rating according to Masterlock. The Masterlock Magnum M5 features an extremely durable laminated steel construction. The boron carbide shackle is 1.5 times as hard as stainless steel, which provides excellent resistance to cutting and sawing. The ball-bearing locking mechanism means the lock cannot be shimmed open, and it increases its resistance to prying and hammering. However, much like the Magnum M115, this lock's cylinder only contains 4 pins. This is a Masterlock Magnum M930. It has Masterlock's coveted 10 out of 10 security rating. For this lock, I'm going to need to do something a little bit different. Its cylinder contains 5 security pins, which increases its resistance to non-destructive attacks. However, non-destructive attacks aren't the only factor, and I have 2 complaints that dock some security points from the Masterlock Magnum M930. First off, McNally has demonstrated that if you remove the rubber weather seal, you will expose an exposed retaining pin that's exposed. Grabbing this exposed retaining pin with a pair of pliers and ripping it out will allow you to completely dismantle the lock. Normally for a heavy-duty lock you wouldn't be able to do this, but Masterlock decided to make this retaining pin exposed so that it could also be used to hold the weather protection seal onto the face of the lock. Second, there is a steel piece in front of the keyway that I assume is there to increase the lock's resistance to drilling. However, all of the lock's internals appear to be made of brass, which is not a very drill-resistant material. It's easy to imagine that if an attacker used a small enough drill bit, they could dodge the steel completely and open up enough room in the keyway for all of the pins to simply fall out. From that point, they could insert a tool to turn the core and the actuator and get the lock open without a problem. Anyway, with just a bit of counter rotation and patience, all of the pins will be set at the shear line, and the lock will open. If Dante's Inferno had a 10th circle of disappointment, that's where the Masterlock Magnum M930 would sit. Yeah, for someone at my skill level, that should have taken far longer than a minute and 16 seconds.